Alright, it's time to fix the alternator in this, so I'm gonna start it up and pull it in the driveway. Just no belt on it right now, so it's a little hard to steer. Undo the negative cable on the battery just so when we're switching over these wires and stuff, it doesn't short circuit onto the ground parts. So I'm just gonna go to the trunk and disconnect the negative cable, and then we'll be able to start taking it apart. Alright, I already had to take the belt off because it seized while it was running, and it wouldn't run again until I took the belt off. So to take the belt off, all you need to do is put a 3/8 ratchet in there and then turn it to relieve the pressure off it. In order to get this out, we're going to need to move this hose out of the way, so usually disconnect it here and lift it up. It is going to spill some coolant, unfortunately, but as you can see, it's stuck there, so I'm just going to break the seal a little bit. Okay, I have the hose tucked over for now, and we're gonna have to undo the 3 bolts that are holding the alternator to the engine here, and they're 15mm. So I'm gonna get a little 15mm and undo the top bolt, and then we're gonna have to get underneath to the bottom to get the bottom too. As you can see, this is completely seized solid. I can't move it at all. Alright, I got the first bolt out. Alright, there's the other 2 15mm that we need to get out. And I'm also going to reach up there, remove that black cap, and then undo the 10mm nut. And there's also a connector above it that I'm going to unplug. Okay, I got the connector off. Now I just need Alright, now that all 3 of the bolts are out, I should be able to pull this out of place now. And if you still have the wires and stuff connected on the back, if you couldn't get to it, you can do it up to this point and pull it forward and flip it down and disconnect it there. Alright, so what you're going to want to do is either completely remove this hose or fold it and push it back that way. And then you'll need to squeeze the alternator between here. You'll need to push this that way, or just remove it. I'm gonna squeeze the new alternator back in the same way the old one came out and try to sit it in place, and then I'll start putting these bolts back in. The bolts were a bit crusty, so I'm gonna clean them up a bit first. Here's the old one next to the new one. The new one spins nicely, and this one's completely seized. face down in first, and I'm gonna wiggle it past this hose. We're gonna line it up how it was before. Alright, I got the first bolt started in the top. Just started it with my finger. You're gonna wanna put all 3 bolts mounting the alternator on before you tighten them. So just start all 3 of them, and then you can start tightening them. I'm gonna tighten this 13mm and then put the cap over it. I'm gonna make sure it's tight, but don't do it too tight that you break it. Once it's on there nice and tight, then we're gonna take the cap and cover it. There we go. Just have the top one left to tighten up. Alright, everything's tightened on there now. I'm just gonna spray some brake clean on this, clean it up real quick, and then I'm gonna throw the belt on and we'll put this hose back in place. We'll definitely top up the coolant. This is how the belt goes. I'm holding it right here. I'm gonna slip it over the alternator once I pull the tensioner there. So when I pull the tensioner, this will slip over there, and then it will be in the right place. As you can see, this belt is full of cracks, and I do have a replacement coming. If you see cracks and stuff in yours, you definitely want to replace it. Okay, you want to make sure that the belt is fully seated on all the pulleys, which it is. It's a little off on the tensioner, but that will fix itself when I start it. Alright, I'm going to reconnect this coolant hose and then top up a little bit of coolant there. You want to make sure this goes in the same grooves as before. Alright, I'll top up a little bit of coolant in there now, and then we'll start it up. Make sure it sounds good and it's charging. Okay, everything's back in play. Now I'm gonna start it up and we're gonna see if it's working good. Alright, seems to be going good. I'm gonna take it for a little test drive now and make sure it's charging. It already feels a lot nicer having power steering back. And as you can see, there's no battery light anymore, so it's charging. That's good news.